Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. And before we get into things, I just want to show you a little short video of life of the day trader these days. Here we go. States will take immediate action to stop. Lie down! Let me be clear. This pause is temporary. We may resume operations as early as tomorrow. Holy fucking shit. No. Okay, that's what's going on these days. You never know what's going to happen. So today there's supposed to be the deal, the ceasefire deal. We'll see what happens. Apparently, there's some announcements that Iran has been violating the ceasefire agreement all over the place. So we'll see what happens there. What do we got right now for today? Core retail sales came out 1.9%, expecting 1.4%. Month over month, 1.7, expecting 1.4. President Trump he's speaking, huh? When is he speaking? Interesting. Well, you're going to have to be on your toes now if he's speaking. So there's probably going to be an announcement maybe before the market. We'll see. But definitely have to be on your toes today. So there's a lot happening out there. I would keep your lot size small. So that being said, I don't see any other things to pay attention to. You do have some Fed speak at 9 o'clock, pending home sales at 9 o'clock as well, business inventories. But President Trump speaking, I'm surprised that's not a red folder. But anyways, let's get into what we normally do. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And below, you can join our trading community with the link below. And we do trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. It is now, we have a nominal fee there, so it should not break the bank for people to get in there and jump aboard for the live trading. So let's get into the VIX, where we've been starting lately. Still have a little gap up from yesterday, a little elevated, nothing crazy, still below the 100-day moving average at $19.31. Above the 200 at 18.23. We like it below the 200 because that means things are calm. So you do have this gap here. I'm not even going to draw it. We'll see what happens at the end of today. If it does elevate, then I'll put that gap in here. This gap up that we have here. We still have a few gap downs. One from April 8th, $25.74, and then one above it from March 30th, sitting at $30.34. So if the VIX elevates up there, that means equities are pulling back, right? So not horrible if equities do pull back. Let's get into the oils. Brent crude right now elevated a little bit, but still nothing's really going to change on all the charts that we're going to look at today. Didn't quite close that gap up from yesterday, so that's still there. I'm not even going to put that on the charts. We'll see what happens again from today. Toggling in between $104 a barrel and $90.45 a barrel. So not horrible. The world will be fine if this is where the new norm is for Brent crude. Let's take a look at Brent oil. Let's take a look at crude itself. Same thing. Got a little gap down here. Didn't close here from the 16th. So, but again, same thing. Hovering right at the $85.31 a barrel and below the 96.84. So I would say that as long as crude is below $100 a barrel, we're doing just fine there. So let's get into the ES. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and then hit the link below so you can come and join and trade us and trade with us from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, where we trade Tesla options and we go over and answer any other questions that you have. ES, like I said, things are the levels are going to be the same. Uncharted territories above the 7185.75. So you can see it's just kind of titling there in pre-market right now. It's just kind of hanging around. Nobody is really too scared about what's happening, I guess, with the ceasefire. Oh, excuse me. So we have to watch these levels. Watch this close from yesterday, and sitting at about 71,052, 71.52 rather. If we lose that, come back to a previous all-time high at 7,089. I don't mind that. We kind of touched that yesterday in pre-market. We did close that gap down from yesterday morning. We closed that not during the trading yesterday. We actually closed that in after hours yesterday. Actually, at 7 o'clock actually 8 o'clock Eastern time last night. I got an alert that this closed. All the rest of them closed as well. So that closed. So I'm thinking maybe we get a little downside today and start hitting some of these open point controls that we have. We've got one here sitting here at 709.45, and then this 68.57.77 is an open point of control that I would like to see the market actually kind of pull back into that level at some point. Not in one day, obviously, right? But those levels are going to stay up there. So some decent levels here, but if we lose, I would say you gotta pay attention to, I would say, yesterday's low. Or not even the low. I think I like this level right in here. 71.24. If you lose that, you come down to 7,089 for the previous all-time high on April 16th. And then all kinds of levels down here for support below that, 7,069.45. It's a point of control level. I like this level actually a lot. And then below that, we've got the midline regressional trend line that I've got here since October of 2022, sitting at 7,051. Let's get into the SPY. The SPY, everything is going to look the same as yesterday, even though everything is still kind of hanging out at these elevated prices. But that being said, we're approaching extension levels here. Here's the 71.12.39, still hanging out there, just below that right now. So it could be a double top right now. You could see that this gap down closed, did not close during regular trading hours. Like I said, it closed yesterday in the night session in Asia is when this gap down closed. So I wouldn't be surprised for some down. Let me see if that's an open point of control. This is an open point of control. So it did create a little bit of an open point of control yesterday. So we can actually mark that here. So I would like to see some downside. I'm sure everybody would. When you're just keep rallying up, everybody's just kind of waiting for the pullback to get in. But people may at some point be like, oh, wow, we're not going to be able to get in. This thing keeps going. But that's not going to happen. I doubt that. So, but we did create another point of control here. So it's creating point of controls everywhere on the downside here for these levels to fill. We still have this open point of control again on the 13th, 682.26. There's most of these point of controls that are open. They are from the 13th. So we got to watch those levels. But if we do lose this point of control, 7,008.72, which is yesterday's close, I like that 702.78, which is the previous all-time high from the 16th, to come and hold that level. And then below that, we've got this midline regressional trend line from this October of 2022, sitting at 699.62. I like that level for support as well. That being said, let's get into the NASDAQ. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Hit the link below so you can come and join our Discord and for live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. Popped up, made a new high here in pre-market here for the NASDAQ. I'll move that later on. I'm going to leave that alone for now. Same thing on the levels on the downside. We still have some open levels here. This just like all the rest of them, open point of control from the 13th of April. 25,310.68. So we are elevated there, quite a bit. Obviously we don't go down there in one quick swoop, but there are some decent levels here to hold support if we do get some downside. I don't mind this level here if we pull back. This is what do we see here? Is it the Fibonacci here? Yeah, actually that's not a level here at all for us. This, I would say this level right here, 26,575.46 is not a bad level. You can see the way it responded yesterday. Came right down to that level yesterday. I didn't even look at that to the T and bounced right off of it. So Still a pretty decent level. If you lose that, you go down to October's previous high, 26,399, and call it 26,400. So anytime you have those even numbers, those are psychological numbers, you're going to get a reaction. And then if you lose that, this is the regressional trend line that you could come down to this midline at 26,264.97 before you came down here. Then you have a higher regressional trend line that I have here from August of 2025, sitting at 26,184. And then obviously you've got all these different point of control levels, 25,997, and a weekly high sitting at 25,935. Let's get into the Qs. Qs, same thing on the Qs. Qs we've got here. So it did pop up, make a new all-time high at 650.59. We'll change that later on. Getting some rejection now, pre-market. We do have this midline regressional trend line. We lost it yesterday, popped above it after the close. So I'd say you'll probably get a decent level of support there. 646.94. This is not an open point of control. However, let's see if we still got the one from the 13th. Yep, 13th, 614.31. And they're quite a bit of ways, but I'm just showing everybody these point of controls that are still open. And they'll probably, the market will probably gravitate to these levels, especially, you're above these moving averages, well above them, right? So here's the 100, 611.18. I didn't go over the moving averages on the Qs or the ES, but they're all elevated above. So the market likes to gravitate back to these levels and then come back and use them as support and then pop higher. So we are uncharted territory once we get above this 650, right? So you gotta hope to get some pullback here. So that's what you're looking for right now. Your bias is pullback longs, but it doesn't mean the second you get a pullback, you get in there, you get a long. You got to look at your levels, right? So take a snapshot of these levels, use them, attach them to your charts, whatever charts you're using, right? So let's get into Tesla. Tesla is going to be a non-eventful day for me because we have earnings tomorrow, right? So somebody sent me something yesterday. Why is Tesla so dead? Well, every day is a new experience with every stock. Not every stock has big volatility, but especially when you're leading up to earnings, people they don't know what to do. But I think with Tesla right now, there's just so much news that's being popped out there right now. I just think that there could be a pullback on Tesla before we get higher. We're still below the 200 moving average, sitting at 399.25. So I'm not thinking long until we can get above that. We are still holding this 390.24, which is the 50-day moving average, and the 390.64, which is the 200 exponential moving average. So yesterday came down there, held it like a champ, dipped below it just a little bit. But, in the trading room, we were talking about that if we dip below it, this could be a liquidity grab, and sure enough, it was. Now we popped up. This is a flash wick, but it did grab it right here, and I expected it to really, shoot back up and maybe even cover this big downside, but didn't quite give it to us. But to me, this was a liquidity grab, but we'll see if that holds up today. If the market sells off here and then it pierces this veil again, you probably get some more downside down to that 387.53, and then beyond that 385.39, which is a weekly low from March of this year, and then below that you got the higher end of this regressional trend line from the all-time highs from December of 2025, sitting at 382.39. And then lastly, let's not forget, we still have this open point of control level down at let's go down here, 334.07. That's still, for housekeeping purposes, did not get filled, but we are above the 20, well above the 20. Here's the 50 coming in at 390.24. So watch those levels, but we are still below the 200. So as far as your longer term moves, we're below the 100. The 100 is sitting at 417.46. 200 is sitting at 399.25. So kind of caught in between a little bit of a range right now. So I would just trade your levels today. When you get to your levels, be confident with your levels. Make sure you have your stops in where you're supposed to have your stops, right? So like if the market pops up and you want to trade this level here, this 200 level, if you wanted to trade a short here, make sure you have another level for a stop. And this would be the close from Friday. That would be a decent level for a stop if you traded that. So same thing on the downside. Maybe you want to take a long at this 387.53 and you have your stop at the 385.39 level, right? So just make sure to take a snapshot, add these levels to your charts, and utilize those. as far as what we're going to do today for our trades. So there is no Wednesday expiration for tomorrow because there are earnings. So the only next expiration date we have is Friday. So you have a lot of time on your premiums this week. So we're going to expand it a little bit. And I've got right now, I currently have the 400 premium. So the premium 400 calls expiring on Friday. So pretty expensive, $8.55. But that's where I closed yesterday. And we are below the close. Actually, we are above the close a little bit. So this may be hover right around the same thing, kind of balanced. It'll wash itself out based on losing a day of theta and also above the previous day close a little bit. So it'll probably balance itself out. May open up in the $8 range as well. As far as this, the 390 puts, I have that up there as well. We are elevated a little bit. This will probably open up in the nines, maybe close, maybe nines, maybe low nines. So we'll see where that is. I may change these around and expand this a little bit and go to maybe 385. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to do that right now. Yeah, change that to 385. So watch this premium price as I expand the depth of the put. This is going to drop because it's lower. So it went from 1085. I lost $2 on the premium there, right? Which I don't say losing $2. It just makes my entry costs, my total capital costs cheaper, right? So I could also change this 400 and I could change this to 410, right? Because there's going to be a big move one way or the other on the earnings call. And it's not about their numbers that come out. It's about their vision. What's going to happen on the earnings call? What are they going to say for the rest of the year? That's what's going to move the needle, right? So as I went to 410, you could see it dropped down here to $5.40. So these premium levels, it just brings your capital costs down to getting into the trades here. So I'm going to start out with that, and we'll see where the market takes us. But like somebody was saying yesterday, as far as Tesla not really making a move yesterday. Well, truth is, it'll make your move in the morning. You just have to know what you're looking at. So it was a fantastic move yesterday. And then after you made your move, pretty much at about 10 o'clock, we stayed in this in this channel here, right? But you got your move. So here was your range yesterday. 401 for the call, 401 and change for the low, 406 for the high. Once you broke that 401, you came all the way down here. I mean, you obviously weren't going to hold, most people are not going to hold it all the way down to 388. But, you pretty much made yourself, about 13, you could have made yourself $13 on that move. So, you make yourself $8 or $9 on a premium on a one lot, that's $800, right? So all kinds of ways to make money. Trading options. I know a lot of people say I'm doing spreads. I'm doing, all kinds of iron condors, and guys, all I do, if I think the market's going up, I'm buying calls. If I think it's going down, I'm buying puts. I'm not selling I'm not selling puts. I'm not selling calls. I'm not exposing myself to a unrealized downside. I know what my downside is going to be when I get into the trade. If I buy a one lot here at this premium of $5.40, I could walk away from my computer. I could go play golf, and I know that the most I could possibly lose is $540. But that being said, this is Tuesday, and these don't expire till Friday. All the years that I've been trading, I have never, not one time, and I've been trading for 30 plus years, I have never let my options go to zero. Now what does happen from time to time is when you are in an option and you get like a flash wick. This isn't a real flash wick right here, right? But if you do get a little spike or you get some volatility where you get, these type of wicky type candles, your premium will fluctuate 30 to 40 cents maybe in a second or so. So that's what you have to be careful about. But that being said, when I get into my trades, I know what my risk is going to be. As a matter of fact, when I'm in the trade room and I call out my trades, the first thing I call out is not how much money I'm going for, is where is my stop going to be. I'm entering a trade here at 394, and my stop is going to be at this lower Bollinger level, a lower Bollinger band here at 393.63. Then once I know where my risk is going to be, then I start to analyze, okay, well, now I know where my level is, and where am I possibly going to go for? Well, I try to scale into my trades, and I give myself opportunities to at least exit trade 3 times. right? So if I got in here, I could say to myself, okay, if it pops up, I'll exit one of my positions here, another one here, maybe a third one here, or maybe I exit one of them here, another one here, and then maybe keep our runner and take it all the way back up to the 397, right? And then have your stop to make sure you don't lose money. So there's all kinds of ways to, manage your trades. I could teach anybody how to enter a trade in probably 30 minutes, and you'll be a master at entering trades. That's not the problem. The problem is your discipline and where you're going to exit your trades and how you manage the trades. That's where the professionalism comes into play. That being said, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And if you want to learn more about the trading, click the link down below so you can join our Discord community through the WAP link. And live trading 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. Come on and join. If we don't see you in there, we'll see you tomorrow morning for the pre-market analysis. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.